Welcome back everyone. And in today's video, I'm going to cover one more game. Again, I felt walking through the game is much better than recording it live. It means there is a different fun to it recording live, but it takes too much time when either I'm thinking on it or either the opponent is taking time to make a move. So it takes too much time. So I thought maybe whatever good games I have played, maybe I can screen record. So this is where I played as black, and if I have to say, till as of now, my current favorite playing as black is King's Indian. That's nice, and King is really protective. It seems really protective in that opening. And for white, either it's King's Gambit or English opening. That's what I'm going with right now. So since I'm starting out with black, it's going to be King's Indian. So in King's Indian, our knight, uh, rook, bishop, and pawns would be protecting and surrounding the king. You'll see how it actually looks like. So the opponent makes the first move, moving his pawn to e4, and this is the opening for King's Indian, where you make space for the bishop, moving the g7 pawn to g6, and bishop can come into g7, and our knight can go to f6. Then we can castle, and that clustered formation is called King's Indian. Okay, then he protects his pawn. Then I move the knight because let's say he advances his pawn from d4 to d5. I can take it with my knight. So he gets his bishop out. I place my bishop in the position. Now I'm ready to castle. So this is pretty neat till now, because normally what happens is they'll start pushing pawns. Since I'm not moving any uh, center pawns forward, they'll start pushing into my territory. That's when the formation does not happen perfectly, but this is one example where I could actually castle and reach the final King's Indian formation. So that's good. Let's see what happens going forward. Okay, he also castles. Then yeah, then I move my first central pawn, moving it from d7 to d5. Okay, he moves his pawn forward, and I bring my knight out. I just want to connect the two rooks and the queen. So I need to take my bishop out as well. Yeah, I took my bishop out. After that, okay, now he's uh, getting his bishop into my territory, attacking my knight. So if he takes my knight, I would end up with double pawns because I had to take it with a pawn. Let's see what happened. So instead of that, I thought maybe my queen can protect if he takes the knight. He took my knight, and I took the bishop. So for me, almost bishop and knight, even though they have the same number of points, bishops are long. Like, what do you say? The effect that they have is much more larger than the knights, because they can concentrate on an entire diagonal if they lay in a proper square. That's one way, but knight is tricky because you cannot, like, if you check the king with a knight, there is no way, what is it, no way to put a piece in the center to block the check. You need to either move the king or kill the knight. So that's how you can come out of a check of a knight. But whereas from any other piece, you can place a place another piece in the middle of the piece that is checking the king to stop the check. So yeah, in that way knight is special, and forking is very easy with knight if you know how to play with it. So yeah, anyways, let's move forward. Okay, he's getting his knight out and trying to threaten to take my queen away. Let's see. I moved my queen to one side. Maybe I should have moved it towards the knight. But yeah, anyways. He's getting his pawn forward to support the knight or protect the knight. Okay, okay. I moved my knight to that square. Uh, Maybe because from here I can take the e3 pawn and fork uh, the rook and the queen. But let's say if he takes my knight with his queen, I can take the queen with my bishop. One way he can stop this forking from happening is moving his uh, n- knight out of the d2 square. Okay, so if the knight is out to some other square, and if I move to e3, he can take my knight with bishop, so there would not be the chance for me to fork. But I think he did not see that coming, and that's why he moved a pawn forward to threaten my knight. I go forward with my plan. Now, yeah, we have a fork where I can take either the queen or the rook, and obviously, I think he tries to protect his queen. Yeah, so I take the. Okay, now this is one good move. I didn't realize I had made this move, but let's say if I took the rook in f1 square, my knight would have been gone. But since I came here with a second fork, now I'm forking the queen again, and anyways he would be saving his queen. In such case, I can take my take the rook on the a1 square and still be safe. My rook would not be taken. So let's see. I think that's what happened. Yeah, he moves his queen back, and I take the rook, and he can't take my knight because there's a bishop, and to move the bishop, he has to make one more move. Okay, yeah. So he takes the knight out, and once the bishop moves out, maybe then he can take my knight. But yeah, I moved my bishop. Yeah, so now you see, he moved the bishop out of it, out of the way to take my knight away. But I think I got my bishop to that square because I can place it in d3 and target the rook on f1. Yeah, and this is a nice tactic. Now he can't take my knight because uh, my bishop is protecting it. So he comes here, not sure why, and that's a good protection now for the knight. My queen also joins the bishop. Okay. He- Okay, now again the pawn is hanging. Pawn on a2. Even though he gets the bishop to threaten my queen, that's not a real threat because I can take the pawn and still end up with more material. I can take two pawns are hanging here. C3 pawn and A1, A2, sorry, A2 pawn. So any one of them I can take. Or let's see which one yeah, I ended up taking A1, A2 pawn. He moves the rook forward maybe because once he takes the knight and I take the bishop, I take the queen with the bishop, then maybe he can take it with his rook. Maybe that was the plan, but if he's thinking that that is dumb because he'll lose his queen and rook to my bishop and knight. But anyways, let's see. This is a good way uh, because now he can't move the bishop until uh, the king moves because I'm pinning the bishop to the king. Okay, he gets the queen out so that bishop can move out. Now this is a good really good fork I felt because now the queen is in danger because my knight is looking at the queen, and let's say if he takes my knight away with his bishop, again my queen can take his queen away. Also, if he tries protecting the queen with rook by moving it back to f1, I can take either the queen or the rook. I think he missed that, so I take the queen. Oh, I think that's when he resigned. I did not know. I thought this ended in a checkmate, but He made a few bad moves and lost two big pieces. He lost a rook and he lost a queen. Finally, I ended up winning since he resigned. So yeah, that's a victory. That was a good game.